When I first started working at Gordon, the mold situation, I would say, was under control, primarily due to a rigorous immediate response if there were ever any concerns. I wouldn't want to say a specific percentage, but many of the claims of mold weren't mold, but the environmental health and safety officer and the director of physical plant, manager of custodial department would deploy their teams very quickly, and they would do some air sampling to make sure it wasn't mold. But it was very much a reactive situation when I first arrived here. For us, as a large institution, we're obviously committed to meeting the requirements set forth by the NFPA and other bodies that want to govern and regulate how we deploy safety. And for us, we're very committed to that. We were before we met Sterile Ray, but that commitment continues to grow. And so we've been spending a lot of money every year, perhaps every 6 months, on duct cleaning, et cetera. So we're not creating any sort of space where pathogens can grow or be recirculated. So for us, beyond just mold prevention, we are very comfortable with large groups of students learning together at a higher level perhaps than they have before, because they're in a much cleaner, safer environment where they can think more clearly and they can perform more clearly. And so the benefits really accrue in many directions. If mold had been identified here at the college, be it in a classroom or a dorm room, the college would deploy a very quick, immediate response, very thorough, including air testing, swabs, et cetera, and then custodial would apply a number of effective products, relocate students if necessary. In my opinion, there are a few causes for recurring mold. One would be our challenges to dehumidify air during the summer when our air conditioning systems are running at full capacity. Not all of our equipment is able to dehumidify that air, which introduces or can introduce moisture, particularly in times of extreme humidity, into an environment that's cold. So you will get droplets from metals or harder surfaces that are much colder than the air. In our desire to find a sustainable solution and a proactive solution, we engaged Sterile Ray really in a pilot project with a desire to be sort of the tip of the spear with their technology, and their response was very forthcoming, highly organized, very analytical, data-based, and they came on and they chose specific target rooms and spaces where we thought there might be issues with air quality, perhaps mold, and Sterile Ray assessed the rooms from ventilation to lighting to the shape of the ceiling, et cetera, and then they conducted robust, extensive swab testing for surfaces and air testing. The Sterile Ray assessments revealed to us that we have room for improvement. We have some rooms that are not exchanging enough air, where we aren't happy with CO2 levels. We have other rooms where surfaces were certainly cleaned, but not as clean as they could be, and some concerns regarding moving mold or other pathogens through our ductwork. Based on the findings by Sterile Ray, the recommendations were made to introduce 2 different wavelengths of ultraviolet light into spaces and into ductwork. One is a Luminaire product, which we're extremely happy about. I could talk about that for a long period of time, which I won't right now. And we also introduced units into our ductwork in 2 spaces that had been problematic. And it was an excellent recommendation. We've been very happy with the results. Sterile Ray carried on with their research and their data. They were able to assess results by coming back multiple times throughout the project and testing the air quality, testing surfaces, and we saw a dramatic improvement over actually a very short period of time, in my opinion. And so Sterile Ray followed through from start to finish, from data collection to deploying a solution and following up to verify and validate that that was an effective solution. One of the unanticipated benefits of introducing the Luminaire fixture into one of our classrooms, which has a capacity for 88 students, but it has fabric seats on multiple levels, and it's wiped down by custodial, sterilized by custodial every single night. But we were unable to sort of overcome a bit of a, not a foul smell, but an unpleasant smell, a smell like old fabric perhaps. And it was also very complex for them to clean the bottoms and the backs of those individual seats. And since the introduction of the Luminaire fixture into this particular classroom, we have had a total transformation in by eliminating the smells in that room. It smells fresh, and I don't want to get this incorrect, but I think we're close to nearly 100 air exchanges an hour with this fixture. Probably could add a 0 to that. In my opinion, the work and products of Sterile Ray offer to us a way to resolve and mitigate air quality issues, mold concerns sustainably and proactively versus strictly a responsive mentality, which is understandable. Most institutionals have to respond to these issues when they discover them, they resolve it, it comes back. What we've experienced in the past, nearly a year has been an incredible increase in air quality, no trace levels of mold, and we're extremely happy with that. One of the unanticipated benefits of introducing the Luminaire fixture into one of our classrooms, which has a capacity for 88 students, but it has fabric seats on multiple levels, and it's wiped down by custodial, sterilized by custodial every single night. But we were unable to sort of overcome a bit of a, not a foul smell, but an unpleasant smell, a smell like old fabric perhaps. And it was also very complex for them to clean the bottoms and the backs of those individual seats. And since the introduction of the Luminaire fixture into this particular classroom, we have had a total transformation in by eliminating the smells in that room. It smells fresh, and I don't want to get this incorrect, but I think we're close to nearly 100 air exchanges an hour with this fixture. Probably could add a 0 to that. Based on our experience with this technology and our enthusiasm sort of being the tip of the spear in what actually someone at Sterile Ray said to me, we're not focused on HVAC for comfort, we're looking at HVAC for health. And I found that to be quite an inspirational comment, actually. And for us as an institution, it helps us to present to prospective students and staff and faculty members cleaner, safer environments where they have a great increase in the capacity to learn. Students are now able to learn in a room with far less CO2, with far more contaminants, pathogens, etc. So it is my desire that we can, as we build out our budget for the next 5 to 10 years, continue to introduce this technology not just into our ductwork and classrooms, but perhaps even mobile units for dorm rooms and other applications. My recommendation to any other institution, be it private sector, public school, elementary school, university, etc., is engage in this technology and work with Sterile Ray. The benefits are measurable. They have really exceeded our expectations. We now can assure our students that they're learning in a space that is incredibly healthy, especially when compared to other institutions around the country. And it's my opinion that that is quite a selling point for families and students when they consider coming to Gordon College, and I would expect the same for other institutions. We've enjoyed working very much with Sterl Ray, the team members at a customer service level, at just a training level, from helping us identify the right equipment for our applications to installation, follow-up, pre, mid, and post-project data collection and testing. There has been a pleasant response to our introduction of the Sterl Ray technology into our buildings. Culture change is not easy. There are many stakeholders in all of our buildings, and to kind of get everyone on the same page and in agreement that this is the best way forward for the college, it doesn't come quickly, but everyone here is committed to the health and well-being of the students as their number one priority, and that makes a big difference, as is the environmental health and safety officer, the director of physical plant, faculty and staff, top to bottom. So for us, while culture change can take place slowly, it is happening. And we have stakeholders of a building. They say, oh, you did what? You put what in our ducts? And they learn the improvements that this technology can make to the building, to the classrooms, to the learning environment. They're very optimistic. In fact, I'm getting requests from other departments. For example, we have a wonderful archival program, and the point of contact for our archives is very much interested in your technology. And if we're able, that would probably be where we next deploy that.